I remember these times very well. Every day ended exhausted, worked over 10 hours, but somehow I still missed the things that actually mattered that day. If this is you, you're not alone. We still see this constantly in our community of professionals. People writing endless to-do lists, cramming calendars, using every task and time management app out there. Or worse, they think AI or a personal human assistant could come to the rescue. Yet they're still feeling anxious, scattered and unproductive. So why is this? Well, if this is you, then you don't see the real problem. It is not you. It's your approach and the misleading recommendations you get on YouTube and everywhere else. That's why I made this video, to settle this once and for all. What I'm sharing here in less than 10 minutes is the most crucial thing to understand if you want to build a highly effective productivity system, full stop. Think I'm wrong? Well, then call me out in the comments after you watch the video. I'm pretty sure you'll change your mind. We hear it over and over from our members. Once they implement this one simple step in their productivity workflow, they get so much more done on what matters. That step, planning your week. But I'm not talking about weekly reviews and, reflections or something like that. No, actually planning your week like a pro. Most people think planning means cramming tasks into calendars or writing endless lists. And when it doesn't stick, they blame their willpower, discipline, their tools, or their complicated lives. And then things go downhill. They start tool hopping, watching more tutorials, buying more courses, rabbit hole after rabbit hole, waste of time after waste of time where you actually could have worked. So I'm sure after this video you'll have this life-changing insight, because planning works. You've just never been shown how it actually functions. Those of you who sit down and use a piece of paper and write down the task you want to focus on this week, if this is you, let us know in the comments below, because you're not alone. The reason why you do this is that actions are scattered in many places, like in your emails, in a task manager, in a project manager, and so on, and you just need to see what you need to focus on this week, and therefore you make this comprehensive list. And in short, this is what a planner provides to you. This easy to read sequential list of things that you need to do this week in order to move everything forward effortlessly. And that's where people get confused with these planner applications, because they are not so strictly explained to you that they are used this way. And that's what we want to talk in a tool agnostic way, how such a planner application enhances your overall productivity. So here we go, Sansama, and there's also ICOR. These are probably the most commonly used planner applications. We decided to stick to Sansama for many reasons, for its simplicity, for ease of use, and many other things. If you want to see a comparison video, let me know in the comments below, and we will make a direct comparison between ICOR and Sansama. So the big release for many people is to get this consolidated view on everything that's going on in their business and lives. In my case, I'm using Todoist, I'm using ClickUp, I'm using Google Calendar, I'm using Gmail, and I'm doing daily routines. Obviously, I use a lot more tools than that, but these are the tools that hold any actions that I need to do. So you see how much is scattered. There are events I have to attend. There are emails that I have to do something that takes more than 2 minutes. There is obviously the project work and the tasks that are assigned to me. These are tasks like speedies, less than 15 minutes, or personal tasks that, I also have to plan out against my work task. And there are the daily routines. And I made a whole video about routines that you can watch after this one, where I explain in detail why we need these daily routines to keep in control of everything. But for now, I just want to point out that everything can be connected to Sansama, and the same applies to ICOR, right? These are not just nice to have features in these planner applications. These are the essential things to do. And that's where people get this wrong already. They might start using Sansama. It tells you in Sansama, they say, hey, create a task here and so on. Never create tasks in here, except these daily routines. These are the only tasks that we create, but we never create a task in there, never an action. It is the planning application that consolidates all the actions, the tasks from the other applications, and give me a holistic view on everything against my calendar, and it makes it easier to plan out. This is the crucial thing about the planner application here. I talked on this channel already about inboxes and how crucial they are, and we have these daily routines to manage these inboxes. For those of you who follow the channel know that I'm using Heptabase as my personal knowledge management system, and this has an inbox and it also can hold tasks, but it is not here. That's why this is not a task manager. The only thing that could happen here is that I create a task in Heptabase as an intermediate step, as I'm not, don't want to interrupt my thought process. And then the daily routine will ensure that I process this inbox. Then I see in this inbox, oh, I have a temporary task. This just means that I need to create this task in the right system. And then I create the relevant task in the correct system. And now you see it feeds back into Sansama. That's something I can do also with many other tools. This makes it so great. That's the power of having a system. Because now I can do the same thing with other tools. Maybe I'm on the go and I prefer using Apple Notes and I just quickly jot things down. And then later on, thanks to the daily routine, I process the inbox of this or even a paper notebook, right? And I will create the task. Maybe that was a meeting, okay, with the team. And a task was created during the meeting. Now I can calmly go into ClickUp and take my time to create a task calmly. But then I can be sure it gets created in the single source of truth. And now I can perfectly plan out my week because I can trust that only these tools hold any action. And there's nothing holding back in these other systems. So you see, that's how we can overcome other tools that are usually only for note-taking, but we might use as intermediate steps to jot quickly something down. But it's crucial then it goes back into the single source of truth. And that's the superpower. We have this. Now imagine we don't have this part. We start to scatter these things in different places, and then I have to look across these different tools to understand what is going on in my life. And this is the moment where people take out a piece of paper and try to consolidate everything together into one place, or even they use their PKM system then to consolidate this. And this way we have a system that takes care of this. And that's really crucial to understand. And it all comes down to this holistic view. So if you haven't already, use a white map, even a piece of paper, and try to draw this yourself to understand what tools you use, where do you place information, your business tools, and then understand how could the planner application help you to get this holistic understanding. And if you want to make it easy, our members have also access to the myICOR application, where you have access to the ICOR framework, and that's where you can just search for your tools. Let's say you're using Trello, and you can just simply drag this out and it gives you a tool stack, and then you can connect it then with Sansama and say Trello is a direct connection with Sansama. And now I know in Sansama, see, you integrated Sansama with, it shows you all the information and what you're using Sansama for. And also in the tool stack, you see a lot more, what you're paying for all the tools. You even see then here in Find My Tools, what other peoples are using. If you click on Sansama, you see now people who are using Sansama are also using these tools, or, if they're in your job title and so on. So this is going a lot more deep. If you're really serious about building a productivity system end to end as a busy professional that really moves you forward at work and in your life, then join us inside the Paperless Movement membership. You get access to this and to the ICOR methodology that helps you to build out your productivity system end to end in the best way possible. So if you find the video insightful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so I can catch you up in the next one.